One thing that you have to look out for is fraud in your credit. You can get a free copy of your credit report from annualcreditreport.com. You can get one of Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. You get one per year. My recommendation is to get one in January, one 3 months from then, one 3 months from then, because guess what? In January, you get another one. So you can monitor your own credit on an annual basis. Just highly recommend that, because the most common, not the most common form of identity theft, the most dangerous form of identity theft is where the person actually steals your identity and applies for credit in your own name. Happened to Tiger Woods.
Well, I had a question about that, because UNF got
had a security breach.
And we're supposed to contact, I didn't know what you do.
You need to contact the company that was in the letter or the email. I forget who it was, maybe a fan. They have to provide you with a credit monitoring service. And a credit monitoring service is not a bad thing. FreeCreditReport.com is a ripoff. They charge like 3 times as much as what a lot of other services that do the same thing. Fifth Third Bank offers an identity alert that ranges anywhere from $4.95 to $7.50. FreeCreditReport.com is $24.99 or something like that, and they do the exact same thing. But what those things do is they monitor your credit bureau to see if anybody is inquiring for credit in your name. So each month I get an email from our Fifth Third one. I get mine for 53 cents. It's pretty cool. But I get an email and it says your Equifax, your TransUnion, and your Experian bureaus are clear. Nobody has applied for credit. If I go and apply for credit, and I know I applied for credit, I get an email that day that says somebody has accessed your credit bureau report. So let's be average house, $150,000. Just for argument's sake, I don't know if that's the average price house, but that's what I put in the computer this morning. On a 30-year term, which is the average term that most Americans do get, we'll say good credit person is going to get a 4.5% mortgage loan right now. Average to a little bit less than average customer might get something in the 7% range, depending upon where their credit and debt-to-income ratio falls. So you look at that, that's not a huge variance in interest rate. But if you take the 4.5%, the good rate customer, their principal and interest payments are going to be $760 a month. So sounds pretty good. The person with the 7% is going to have $998 payments. Really, not that big a difference, right? I really want that house. I can afford $998. You're not even thinking about what it would be if you had good credit because you know you can afford it. The difference in those two payments is $238. So the person with 4.5% mortgage loan will pay, and what's the price of something? Somebody just tell me what's not the price of any one thing, but if I tell you the price is X, price equals what? Price is the cost, the cost that you paid for an item, right? So pack of gum, 35 cents. Okay, house, I'm saying the house cost $150,000. The true price of that house is $273,600 under the terms with which you purchased it, which is 4.5% for 30 years, making your minimum monthly payments. That's how much you pay for a $150,000 house. If you had 7% mortgage loan, you'd pay $359,000 for the same house. You and I bought the same house from the same developer on the same day. We both walked in and we're super excited about making that purchase. I am already $85,000 ahead of you in life. So I'm $85,000 ahead. I'm sorry, you're not, but you may or may not realize that. Now, I'm going to take it a step further because I told you I'm an investment advisor at work as well. So I take the $238 a month, starting with $0 in my account, and I start investing $238 a month. And I'm just going to assume a modest 6% return. We're going to have ebbs and we're going to have flows, and it's, you know, it'll be crazy at times. That money will turn into $245,000. So I took my $85,000 at $238 a month, and I made myself $240,000. So I'm now $240,000 ahead of you from day one, if you stick to that. So the moral of that story is your credit decisions, and we always talk about people paying off their debts, you can have a drastically different situation than your neighbor.
Yep. So this probably matters to a lot of people. How do student loans affect your credit when you kind of graduate or while you're still in school?
They're really not impacting your credit while you're in school. The only time that they're really going to have any negative impact on you is if you don't pay them.
Right.
You know, they're going to show, because it's an installment loan, so we know that it will be paid off at some point in time. The debt that we really care about is the credit card debt, because we know how hard it is to get rid of. As much as we send you stuff in the mail, we know how hard it is to get rid of. That's why we send it. So I mean, it's one of those things that we don't care unless you're missing your payments. Student loans, if you don't pay your student loans, the federal government's going to get their money. Most of that stuff is federally backed, so pay those loans. So with that,
Thank you so much.